Time for us to take a look at other discussions on the program this morning. The Indigo Youth Organization recently warned that the Southeast region cannot afford to go into the 2023 general election as a divided house. Now, the organization also cautioned Southeast politicians against inciting the people of the region against actions and utterances that would further alienate them from the mainstream political and economic circles. How are the Indigos strategizing to take over power in 2023? As some would say, taking power is a serious business that requires rigorous planning processes. Nobody surrenders power to you because you think you deserve it. Now, to discuss this, we have in the studio a prominent Igbo politician, the national chairman of All Progressive Grand Alliance, Chief Edozie Njoku. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Welcome to Daybreak, sir.
Yeah, thank
you. So let's start with this. The Igbo have been agitating for Igbo presidency for a while now, and even on the sidelines of that, there's always this cry of the Igbo being marginalized. But some quarters, in some quarters, people say that it's not really marginalization that is the problem, but the lack of cohesion within the Igbo people. How true is that?
Thank you again. Thank you. We've actually touched on something like this in this studio before.
Okay.
I really don't feel that the Igbos are not, they are organized.
Okay.
The Igbos know what they want. I feel every section of Nigeria know what they want. But Nigeria is a little bit more complicated than comes to the eye. I give you a simple example. It's something happening in APGA, where APGA is a political party, it's a national party. But the people of the Southeast have a very strong affection for APGA. It's a party that they intend to use to get all the House of Assemblies, get the House of Reps to speak for them. But you will notice that there will always be forces that will not want that voice to be heard in unison. Up to an extent that if you notice what has happened in the past 2 days, that a retired Supreme Court judge had to come back with a statement, had to make a statement which was, I'm sure you were aware of it, through a World Press Conference 2 days ago, to tell everyone that there was an amendment of a judgment in the Supreme Court in which a gentleman who's claiming to be national chairman, who INEC has been recognizing, I'll leave it with you, said that he's not the national chairman of the party. In the letter, because I wrote a letter to the panel of judges and the CJN, and they replied me back, the heading, National Chairman APGA, and that Oye was never a party to that suit. And they don't know why INEC is still recognizing them. These are little things that happen in this country. But when it's not happening to us directly, we shove it aside and say, no, people are not in unison. How will people be in unison in a party that they don't even know who is their leader? You bring one man and he says he's a chairman, and you expect them, they will not follow him. And you will find out that in small areas of this country, such things are happening. But because I'm not from maybe one tribe in Calabar or one tribe in Nasarawa State, I won't understand what they are suffering. So when they are crying with their plight, I'm just saying, what are these people crying about? But that's the situation going around in this country.
All right, so you made an interesting point about APGA and having a stronghold in the Southeast.
Yeah.
That has drawn a lot of people to make the conclusion that APGA has been in existence for a while, for a very long time, but it's still considered as a regional party, even though it does try to portray a national image, but is well considered to be a regional party domiciled in the Southeast. Isn't it high time APGA starts thinking about going national, as in really going national?
APGA has gone national with, I'll give you an example. In the executives that the other gentleman, Oye, is saying is national, there are 7 substantive positions in a party. They took 5 of them and gave to Anambra State and 2 to the rest of Nigeria. in Congress in the proper Congress that was done in Owerri. It's all around the whole state. There's nowhere you have two substantive, like in Imo State, I'm the national chairman. The next position is an assistant position. You don't have, and that's the way it's done. It's a national party, but there is a concerted move for APGA to be just an instrument to just get the governorship of Anambra State, and they will all have their money to share, and it's no longer a political party. That's what it is. And nobody wants to call it out. That's exactly what it is. And they turn it into a major Ponzi scheme. That's not what APGA is. APGA is a party that had their convention in Owerri, proper executives emerge, and they represent the interest of Nigeria, and particularly the South, because the Southeasterners love APGA. I don't know why.
Very interesting, I must say. This might sound a bit direct, but
please.
My question is it possible to have an Igbo president in a country like Nigeria?
It is possible for a president to come from anywhere. I think Nigeria, the world has gone to a stage whereby everybody wants the best. You understand? And in Nigeria at the moment, we talk about an Hausa man, an Igbo man. The problem the man in Monogonu is suffering is the same the man in Imo State is suffering. And if things are allowed to play out naturally, a president can emerge from the Southeast. I come back to Africa because that's where I've suffered. Right. A question has been asked, why was it when a fifth columnist, when I was removed as, I was suspended as national chairman in 2019, immediately I was suspended through a court in Jigawa State. INEC immediately recognized him. That same case went up to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court dismissed it and told them to reinstate me, and they've not done it till today. These are the little things why that your question is very pertinent. Those are the things that make it very difficult for an Igbo man to be president, because there is disarray. The people will no longer be at ease. The center does not hold.
So just to piggyback on that question, and I would like to add mine to it. Now, is there a possibility that maybe Igbo stakeholders, political stakeholders now, can cross the political divide and say, okay, fine, we are Igbo people, let's make a conscious effort to promote an Igbo candidate and have a consensus candidate for the Igbo nation? Is there a possibility?
That is now, after the letter that was written by the former presiding, the retired presiding judge, which now gave us, it has killed the whole talk about APGA. We've already started them before, but we're talking with one leg because we're not quite standing firmly, and INEC has not. INEC will recognize us now. The thing is, that process has to be put into place. But there's something she said at the beginning. There is no way you can have a president of, from the north or from the west or from the east without bringing the other zones into play. You've got to talk about it. It's got to be by dialogue. You understand? And because the true leaders have not sat on their chairs, it's very difficult for that dialogue to take place. You understand? There's a gentleman, P2B, who is really doing well nationally. I knew you were going to come to that.
Exactly.
Doing nationally in Labour Party. But you notice now that APGA has got a leadership. People will now need to sit down and talk, as he's been. If you notice, he's been so shy of talking with, because he's spoken with NNPP, so he spoke with PDP, well, he can't come out and start talking in APGA, because who is he talking to? Is he talking to a clown? Sorry, let me not call him a clown. Is he talking to someone who is parading himself? He can't speak to him. There can be no discussion with him. He can't. And so I don't blame the gentleman when he's blamed and they said he's not talking with it. Because who is he just going to see my driver now and start talking to him? No, he can't do that. It's got to be a true leadership of that political arm that is prevalent in the Southeast.
So is it that there's no representative to talk to, or is it a nature of a grudge or something that's
No, there's no grudge. Let me give you an example. Politics is politics, medicine is medicine, law is law. When you talk about politics, you talk to the politicians.
Right.
You understand? When you have removed by a game somewhere the leadership of the main political arm in the Southeast and brought in someone, put a red cap on his head, and you are now looking for who to talk to, you go and talk to him. You will be walking around the table round and round till you find the true leadership there. The discussions will start happening. Whether it's going to go that way or that way, but then a serious discussion will take place.
All right, well, still talking about the leadership crisis within APGA. There's one of the prominent politicians that we actually have from APGA is the governor of Anambra State.
Okay.
Yeah. Has there been any move on his part to actually intervene in this particular tussle?
You see, as I said on this program some time ago as well, he's between the devil and the deep blue sea, in that it was through that other side that he came in. We are not chasing him, we are not fighting him. And there's loyalty in politics. The very minute he comes to start talking with me, those people start saying, have you now left us that made you governor? So but the buck stops with him. He needs to, and as I said on the press conference I did, I said, that he needs to rise to the occasion. The mark of a leader is the big decisions you make. So he should now put himself in history to make some difficult decisions. He could get up now and say, no, I will not support you. It's a big decision. Or we need to shield our swords and move forward. He needs to make a serious decision. As governor, the only governor that APGA has.
All right. Well, still talking about the APGA issue. We've had conversations about this before on this program concerning this issue. And well, currently with this back and forth that's currently going on right now, your presidential campaign seems to have stalled a little bit. And that is also very sad in its own crisis. Very sad. So what's the situation with that now?
Well, you see, that's the same play that is at hand. You know, when a little thing has been done, it looks as if it's little, but it's a major thing. There's a play to hold on APGA. If there wasn't, there should be no crisis in APGA. Once the Supreme Court has made, even with, I will leave a copy of this letter with you, even with the letter, it's a one-page letter, even with how the presiding judge of the court has said that Oye has no business and no benefit from that judgment should he be able to benefit from. And he's still being recognized. It's just like taking, as I said, someone from, and putting him in my chair, and then you expect all the stakeholders around to talk to him. It's going to be very, very difficult. So that could be the concerted effort to hold down APGA and the politics in the Southeast. So the Southeasterners as well should rise to the occasion and know that it's affecting all of it. It's not just an APGA thing. The politics in the Southeast cannot breed without having true representation that the people believe in. And then you notice that you start having all different kinds of sections calling themselves unknown government, they're trying to express it in the wrong manner. Okay. But that's what happens.
Now, in trying to connect with other regions in Nigeria, how far have you gone?
We've gone very, very far. And as people know, our executive in APGA, which is the one that INEC is not quite recognizing at the moment, despite a Supreme Court judgment, the spread is wide. You understand? And you have from everywhere. And they've been talking. But you know, when you've not gotten that recognition from INEC, the talk is not as solid as it should be. But people are talking. But now that the Supreme Court have come out and the judges have said, no, we made that amendment and you are the national chairman of the party. They removed national chairman, you're back in your seat. People are beginning to say, wow, something has to be done. And the elections are next year, early next year. So the most important period is over that Christmas period. And I hope that we've resolved that problem during that period so that we can bring the politics to another level. I hope to be sitting down here to be given a better report than we're talking. So the report is very, very poor, but it's sad. And it's not our making. It's just a making of some hands. I don't know where the hands are coming from.
Well, all right. So now let's generalize it a little bit, slightly from APGA, of course, from the Southeast completely. Let's talk about Nigeria now and the general elections. What is your general view of the upcoming elections now? How important is it? How key is it?
So important, so key. Nigeria, the world generally is in a I wouldn't say we're in a quagmire, we're in a very precarious period in the world generally. If you're talking about power, we're trying to move, the world is trying to move to cleaner energy. We are still fighting on how to sort out our fossil fuel energy, which sometimes I ask myself, well, many people are having a plan. When do we move away from this into this? We are still fighting how we are going to improve our capacity on this. So, and there are a lot of highly educated, exceptional people in this country who are propping up the economies of other countries. If for any reason a proper election is done, I keep using that word proper election because I'm suffering in the hands of INEC as well. So I'm a bit skeptical if a proper election is done, and whoever emerges, no matter what party, no matter how small, and Nigerians are agreeable that this is their leader, that person will move forward.
Well, you spoke about suffering in the hands of INEC. Are you skeptical about INEC's capacity?
Not at all. I'm not skeptical about their capacity, but I'm very worried. You know, I've never, let me assume I've not dealt with you before, and their actions are now, there's certain things I do that you can't quite understand. You're going to be very apprehensive of every other thing I'm trying to do. You understand? If someone else says I should give you a lift from here to Hilton, you're going to be sitting in the car wondering what next is he going to do.
Right.
All right, so let's just drill down a little bit on that, on the relationship with INEC now. The Supreme Court has made a judgment, but INEC is still stalling on the implementation. So how goes that conversation now?
I like the word you use, relationship. I don't need to have a relationship with INEC. INEC just needs to do the right thing. You know, Nigeria's got to learn, whether I like you or not, that what's right is right. You understand? I don't need to have a relationship with them. I don't even need to know anyone there. If a Supreme Court has given a judgment, it needs to be looked at clearly. It has, in the history of Nigeria, a Supreme Court judge has never come out after they've given a judgment to comment on the judgment publicly or in writing. This one, let alone a retired judge who was the presiding judge, coming out and telling the world, telling me that there was a press conference that a gentleman, the director of media, Akande, made, saying that they should disregard my CTCs, that on the corrected judgment. She came out to say that the media man in the Supreme Court was what he said was false and a misconception. You know, such things have not happened before. And for such a thing to be done, you know that there's been a travesty of justice. A terrible thing has happened. No matter how I look strong and every day I calm and brave, it's a terrible thing. For 4 years, we've been fighting for justice. So whether INEC likes me or not, I don't think they dislike me because I've never had anything to do with them. Or if they have other friends, it doesn't matter the relationship you have with any other. It doesn't matter if Soludo is a governor. Sometimes they say to me, so what's the fate of Soludo? That's not, I have nothing against him. What it is that I am the national chairman of APGA. You give me what's due to me. Me and my executive. Forget about what's on the side. It's not how things are done. Right should be right.
Absolutely. I like it. That ends it for us. And it just, you know, it's just right on the cap. Thank you so much for coming on the program this morning, and we hope to have you next time as usual.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, sir.
Thank
you very much for having
I'll
you.
leave that with you. If you're not ready before.
All right, sir. All right, so we'll take a short break right now, and when we return, Daybreak continues. Do stay with us. All right, welcome back to Daybreak on Trust TV. Now let's move on to other issues. The former FIFA president, Sepp Blatter, now has questioned the right of Qatar to host the 2022 World Cup. Well, according to him, Qatar is the smallest host by size since the 1954 tournament in Switzerland, adding that football and the World Cup are too big for that. Now, we will discuss this alongside other footballing activities with our Trust TV sports producer and presenter, Adeni Ajishafe. Welcome to the show.
The way you pronounce it, and I'm sure he's happy that you pronounce it.
So deep, kind of, as if, well, maybe the money can actually earn you $1 billion.
They should, they should remember your name.
Good one. Thanks for having me.
All right, it's nice to have you on the show. All right, so let's start with the World Cup. Sepp Blatter came out. Well, there's lots of controversy surrounding, you know, Qatar since the bidding process. Money, they said money changed hands, some people, you know, and all this controversy, and now all the things with the LGBT and whatnot. And now Sepp Blatter coming to say it was actually a mistake to offer the hosting rights to Qatar. What is the general feeling regarding this?
Well, first of all, will you stop Qatar from hosting the World Cup now?
No, we can't do that.
So, I see, at times, it's always very funny when something that the deed that isn't done. Nothing can change it. World Cup is starting on 28th. Today is what? Today is 10. Then let's say 3 days ago, when he said that, or 4 days ago rather, and if you add 4 to 10, 14 days before the World Cup, you are now saying Qatar doesn't deserve to get it. It was supposed to be for US, Michel Platini, blah, 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 all those. It won't change anything. Qatar will host this World Cup. Nothing will happen. And the fact that he was mentioning maybe money change hand this, we know what happened while he was there for those 17 years. We also know what happened when he was taken to court, while he was removed, what involved himself and Michel Platini. And if Sepp Blatter, with all due respect, is now coming out that, okay, maybe he wasn't supporting Qatar to have gotten that particular bid or not to host the World Cup for 2022. But he couldn't stop it. It happened.
Yeah,
what about those ones that he too supported the money that changed hands?
A lot of people are actually saying that he lacks the credibility to even
talk about it because he was there as a head. Aside that, there was a lot of there have been a lot of issues where he was also pinned to the wall, where money changed hand too. He couldn't clear that. So why talking about this one now? That maybe because people are looking at weather and all that, but something must just be done. We just need to change. At least let's even have a feel. This World Cup will be changing because normal World Cup comes up mid of the year, yes. But now it's changing because of they have to consider the weather. And even despite that, the place is still going to be hot, but we just have to, Qatar is part of the world. And I see no reason why Middle East doesn't deserve to be given that chance to host the World Cup. Are they in Pluto or Uranus? So, seriously, they are part of the world.
Qatar are that very tiny that it's incapable.
But are they not rich enough? Are they not developed enough? It's not, let's be sincere with ourselves. If you are saying tiny doesn't come in here. It's about development, infrastructure. Do they have what it takes to host the world? They have it. They are, in fact, for the first time in the history of the whole world, they have a particular stadium there that is a stadium you can dismantle it and take it to another place to settle. No one has ever done that. It's in Qatar now. That will be at the World Cup. And you are saying they are small. What does size has to do with
capability?
Exactly. So, as long as they have the money, this is an oil nation, they have enough money. They, even though there are issues concerning welfare of workers and work at the state and all that, yes, I'm very sure there is no nation in the world that you will not find one thing or the other that's not going well. So let's not nail Qatar to the world that way. Oh, Blatter himself. Let's be candid.
There's lots of questions.
Oh, come on, lots of questions. Despite the fact that it's 86.
All right. So before we move away from the World Cup, I would like to ask this question: do you think now all this controversy surrounding the World Cup will actually take the attention away from the football, or we'll forget all of this craziness when that whistle gets blown?
right now is already buzzing. It's showing that the world, even though we are not going to the World Cup, yes, we know. But despite that, if you go out there, people are waiting for that first whistle or that opening match. Really, it won't take anything away from maybe Qatar will host or not. Despite all the brouhaha following this particular nation, I just believe they have what it takes. Let's be candid with ourselves. The stadia are ready. They are ready. They even relapse. They drop down their standard of or way of life just to suit the world.
The people that are coming
you understand? Let's be candid with ourselves. At least just to suit the whole global people that will be coming to play in Qatar. So right now, I won't take anything away from the fact that let's enjoy this Mundial, as it's called. Let's enjoy this football tournament. Let's see what Qatar will actually offer. And then let's see what they can prove that, yes, the fact that you gave all this bid, it's not
make you proud.
That's it. Let's enjoy some Middle East dates.
So unfortunately, we're not going.
Well, we're going to watch from our homes.
But is that what we're supposed to do?
Talking about watching from our homes, there are lots of other players that their nations will be going, but they will not be able to make it to Qatar. But Heung-min Son came out a few days ago to say actually he is going to the World Cup because he was ruled out. Paul Pogba has been ruled out. Reece James has been ruled out, and a few other players as well. Do you think that will take away from the quality of what we're going to see on the pitch?
I don't think it will take away any quality. It's just that every World Cup that comes, I've never seen any World Cup that you won't see one kind of news that gets you scared. Oh, this player is not going to the World Cup. I still remember David Beckham nearly, in fact, he was rushed to play against Nigeria at the World Cup because he was their main man. So right now that we are hearing about Reece James and all the people that won't be going fast, and it's not if like people are saying maybe Sadio Mane is injured, he won't go,
exactly.
or he will be able to play. That won't change anything.
And some controversy.
World Cup is there.
Some controversy as well. Brazil released their squad, and Bobby Firmino was actually missing, and a lot of people raised eyebrows about that. Where a 30-something-year-old Dani Alves was actually taken in his place.
Well, I think right now, no matter what we say, no matter what people say or pundits or analysts across the globe, Tite has done what he wants to do. At times, you know, that there are some analysis that I just look at. This doesn't change anything. The 26 players have been announced, and Firmino is not going, Alves is going. Why? The coach knows better. Maybe because of experience and all that. But we'll quickly chip in something. Maybe, you know, a lot of people out there will be like, why are we really focusing on World Cup right now? But really, something happened yesterday. Nigerians are not happy.
I was going to come to that. I really was going to come to that, actually. Plateau United, what happened?
Well, even though so painful, because it's as if this year, what's happening to Nigerian football, one way or the other, we really missed out in so many competitions this year. World Cup, the Chan. We are not going. Ghana will be going to the World Cup. Ghana will be going to the Chan. And you look at
the CAF Champions League. We don't have representation.
Two competitions. We had 4 teams. Now we are just left with only one. We started with Remo, you understand, and Rivers and Plateau and all that. They went, and right now, 3 are down. For Plateau United, you just asked me. I still don't understand how to comprehend.
They won the first leg convincingly. I mean,
it was the goal they considered here that actually caused this.
But still.
Now, look at it. Against Experience of Tunisia, the same thing happened. You saw that coming. You played well against Experience. You were able to manage. Then they defeated you on the away goal route, right? You should have worked on, okay, this thing shouldn't happen again. I thought they said the experience is best teacher, but this time around, this experience not be best teacher at all. Seriously.
Is this like kind of going to demoralize the team in the long run?
Right now, they are out of the competition after the same thing that happened to them against Experience happened to them. In fact, this time around, they have 4-1, right? 3 goals. When they scored the 2 goals, can't we just, you should have at least, like as we speak in Nigerian English parlance, die there. Making a die there. So that third goal will not enter. Because it was the third goal that sealed the deal for Al-Aqda.
They considered it a stoppage time.
Yes, and it's stoppage time. Why couldn't you just die there and make sure the third goal wouldn't enter, so that you have that advantage of that 1 goal that will get you to the group stage. And they allowed that goal. I still don't know what happened. It's like a lot of people are saying, and Nigerians, when something happens, they put emotion to it and they should beat the entire team. I saw somebody tweeting that the entire team should be locked up and flogged. I'm like, wow. Then some people say, the coach, this.
Exactly. But really, how much blame should go to the manager?
Well, both of them, some to the manager, some to the players. Because, like Maradona said, the coach will tell you what to do, but by the time you get on the pitch, the football can just be different. Now, no matter how the football changed yesterday, they're supposed to remember that we need this. We are not supposed to concede more than 2 goals. If the third goal enters and we don't have time to equalize, we are done. And that was what happened.
And they kept the clean sheet.
No matter how poor the coach was, the player should know that no matter what happened, the coach can go or he can stay, but they will be there. Why can't we just fight for our names, fight for Plateau and fight for Nigeria? This is Nigeria now, because this is continental competition. It's so painful for Plateau United, but at least it was a mixed reaction. Good one for Rivers. They made us proud. We're happy that at least if we fall for here, we will fall for here. Let's celebrate that one. They qualified. They scored 1-1.
Yes, they played 1-1.
It ended 1-1. It ended at 1-1, and it actually turned out to be 6-1 aggregate. That was a good one. They never allowed that to deter. When Al-Nasri scored, they got one back, courtesy of Mwagwa.
Exactly.
And that made it 1-1. If you add 1 + 5, they did here. There was no goal scored here. That's a team that knows their onions. Plateau United, with all due respect, really, they dampened the spirit of Nigeria, who really followed them yesterday. And for Bayelsa Queens, well, another tough one. We lost against Morocco team, that is ASFA, and so painful that ASFA defeated us 1-0. 1-0. Our ladies tried for the first time, although I don't know what happened to our football. When it comes to women, we have been dominating, but this time when it comes to club football for women, we are not getting it right. Yeah. Mamelodi Sundown and ASFA will be facing themselves in final. We will still be fighting for 3rd place against Simba FC of Tunisia, and hopefully, if we can win against Simba, I don't know if they will hire the Simba.
No, but the thing is, if you look at the performance of the Queens now, when you juxtapose it with that of the Angels last
far better. It is we have never gotten to this. This is the second time we got to the semi-finals before we were bundled out by ASFA, the host nation, and the support was massive. But right now, we're facing Simba, and there's still hope for a 3rd place finish. That would be nice.
Yeah, so we're moving in the right direction.
After all, we celebrated the Golden Bronze of Flamingo. Let's celebrate.
Really interesting. Like women are making.
Yes,
and
look at this.
What interests me.
Good, I like that because this year, despite all the odds against Nigerian football, especially football, Nigerian ladies, they really came on top to save Nigeria. When it comes to sport, look at Commonwealth Games, look at all the achievements from Toby, from Asisa to Shuala, when no man from Nigeria could even smell top 10 in the rating rather. And you look at the ladies now, CAF Champions League, the women version. We are playing for the 3rd place. Our men, we are struggling to play. CAF Confederation.
We're not in the Champions League.
CAF Confederation, we are no longer there. The 2nd tier of CAF Interclub competition, we are playing the from the way it is now, we have only a team left. Just a team that will be playing in the group stage, and we are hoping and praying. You understand? So for Bayelsa Queens, at least they tried their best. So we celebrated.
At least they died there.
Yes, they died there. I like that. Yes, they died there.
That brings me to this, my next question. How much do we need to reinvest, in what would I describe it now? In women in sports, how much do we need to invest?
We really need to encourage them. Just recently, there was an award ceremony to celebrate them, Shiro's Award, that we actually covered. It was held yesterday, and the organizer of that award deemed me fit to look at those women that are doing us proud. Really, even though we focus more on football, but at least something worthy of note, that they even deem me fit to organize some to favor the women, because it has been more dominant when it comes to trying to balance the gender now. But really, if it comes to women in sport, they really need a lot of attention. It's getting more interesting now when women are playing football. Gone are those days when you're like, who is playing women? But now you want to watch because they are very fast. They are technically gifted. They show skill that you be like, are they girls? Really? Some of these teams can actually beat some boys or men's team. So kudos to them. And now they need to be supported, really. NFF, Nigerian government, state government, local government, just look at these ladies out there doing sport, it's not easy to do sport. A lot of people just see it as mere fun. It's not. It's a real, just the way you are here walking. Sportsmen are also doing their job walking there. So it's something that we need to see as business, as work, as something that can put food on the table. Absolutely. Those girls you see, most of them are breadwinners of their families.
Right.
That they are waiting for the proceeds that will be coming from that particular competition they actually compete. Whatever comes, they go back home, their parents or their family will be able to at least get something from it. So we need to support these girls. That the fact that they deem it fit to put their time, energy, health, just to make sure, oh, we want to do this for ourselves and also for our nation, Nigerian first. And they are doing that for this country. We need to support them financially, morally, give them whatever it takes. Not just to take them to be the second feed, Let's give them what it takes to support them. If Morocco, South Africa, England, Germany are really giving attention to these women, look at the U.S. women team, how they are celebrated. They are collecting the same salary, just the way the men are collecting.
Yes.
So, what says we can't do that here? Let's support them. They have been bringing so much joy.
You know, somebody said something on social media when Toby won, that medal. And then the person was like, well, it seems like in a country like Nigeria, women athletes, or rather sports women, do not get recognized within our own country, except they're doing it internationally. And then we are all celebrating, oh, she's a Nigerian and all of that. Do you think that is the case?
Yes, like I said, we just have to look at it in a way of, okay, these girls, they've made us proud. I'm sure they didn't write, when Toby won that medal, they wrote she represented Nigeria. They didn't write Ghana there, they didn't write Congo there. It was Nigeria they mentioned. Yeah. So why can't we Nigerians, as a government, as people, corporate bodies, see that, okay, at least we are happy they are getting ambassadorial roles now, they are being supported, okay, go and do this, go and do that. But really, we need to see beyond, oh, they are just competing. No, we need to see that no matter what they do, Nigeria will be put at that particular dot on the world map. Toby Amusan this year made Nigeria so popular, in fact, so emotional. I remember when she was crying, when that Nigerian flag, our national anthem was actually sung and our flag was hosted. And I saw the joy, but out of the joy, she cried. And a lot of Nigerians also cried because you felt, wow, my country. You feel among that moment. So imagine if she didn't win. You understand? But the fact that she won that thing brought so much emotion, goosebumps across all Nigeria, in fact, everywhere, both in those in diaspora or those within. So if you look at that particular scenario, now imagine if you put more attention that we give to Super Eagles, to Super Falcons. Even if it's not 100, let's even get it up to 70%. The attention we give to the under 17 Golden Eaglet, Flying Eagles, let's give it to Falconets and we saw what they did at the World Cup. They came third.
Exactly.
Our team, yes, we know we are good at when it comes to junior, but recently, what has happened to our football for men? Look at the women, what they have done also when it comes to competing in all these other sports. Why don't we give such that attention that we give to the men? At least let's push the women. Let's see what they can do. They are really doing well. Seriously, putting Nigeria at that world map.
All right, women in sports in Nigeria are doing fantastic, and we all need to support them.
Maybe they should make me their advocate.
maybe we should do that. It's been wonderful having you on the show. It actually feels good to have you on the other side.
Of course, you are still coming.
All right, Trust TV sports producer, presenter Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And there you go with the pronunciation.
It's deep. Our names are very deep in Africa. We need to celebrate our names.
We need to celebrate our names as
our names are very meaningful. If I tell you the meaning of those names, you offer me some money.
We'll discuss that after the show. All right, this is how we're going to wrap up the show this morning. It's been an amazing time bringing you Daybreak today from the Trust TV. Let's do it all again tomorrow. I am Ibrahim Yusuf.
And I'm Zainab Bala. See you tomorrow.